Hi everyone, I'm Bessie Torres Picard for JLTV. We are here in Congregation Ohev Shalom, one of Central Florida's oldest and largest conservative synagogues, where both Jews and Christians are gathering to celebrate Israel Advocacy and Solidarity Day. Rabbi, what message do you want attendees of this event to walk out with today?
I would like people to walk away today, first of all, realizing just how grave a serious situation this is. Some people do not think we're in a crisis. Some people do not realize that every moment that we're speaking, Iran is coming closer and closer to developing a bomb. I want them to understand that it's not a matter of will there be a war with Israel or Iran or not. That war has already started. That war started when Hezbollah attacked Israel in 2007 in northern Israel from Lebanon and kidnapped Israeli soldiers, and that second Lebanese war. That war continued a year ago with Hamas, who are all sponsored and armed by Iran. Iran has already declared its war on the state of Israel. And so people need to realize that the situation is intensifying, that we are in a crisis. They need to realize that we must act.
Now, Gerald, tell us, what are you presenting here today?
Well, I'm here to, first of all, be part of this wonderful day of solidarity with Israel, of Christians and Jews standing together to support the State of Israel, the idea of the State of Israel. This is not a partisan thing. This is not about a policy. This is not about right or left wing. This is not about an administration or a government. This is about standing by the State of Israel in an hour of need, and when the State of Israel is being attacked and menaced by Iran as well as other countries in our neighborhood. And this is about Christians and Jews standing together in the name of our shared tradition and shared history and shared values in support of democracy and the State of Israel.
Okay, General, now what message would you have to the Christians and Jews of our community? What one message do you want them to take away?
The message is that we have to stand together and face this common threat. This is a threat to all of us. When Iran threatens Israel, when it menaces Israel, it menaces everything that Israel stands for. We stand for Western civilization, we stand for democracy, we stand for values, we stand for human rights and the sanctity of human life. They stand for destruction, they stand for the glorification of death and martyrdom. And I believe that Christians and Jews, we share the same values. We need to stand together against a common threat.
Supporters spent the early portion of the day attending various conferences where they learned about the world's effort to delegitimize Israel, Israel's media war and what they can do to help, how Israel would respond medically to a nuclear attack, and the help Israel is receiving from Christians united for Israel, unrealized by most of the Jewish community.
The Christians United for Israel is the founder is Pastor John Hagee. The organization is 4.5 years old, now has some over 300,000 on a list of membership that is running wide open. We converge on Washington, D.C. once every summer, and we go there to lobby our congressmen and senators to stand on behalf of Israel. We have nights to honor Israel going on across the nation. Over 100 have taken place so far. Tens of millions of dollars have been raised from the Christian community to go towards Jewish organizations and charities. And so whatever we can do to stand and support Israel with that love, with that heartbeat of reconnecting again, that's what CUFI is all about.
We also interviewed some of the guest speakers of today's event, and here's what they have to say.
Well, it's very important for people to know that they should be proactive. If this is something that they care about, they should get out there and they should talk about it, and they should speak to their friends and their neighbors and not wait until they see something in the news or in the television or the newspaper that they don't like. And so they can get out there and they talk to their friends and neighbors about the things that make Israel great and about the fact that Israel is a democracy that shares so many values with the United States, and that there's freedom of religion and the right to vote and free press and women that serve in the Knesset and on Supreme Court, and Israeli Arabs that serve in the Knesset and on the Supreme Court. And those are the kinds of things that a lot of Americans aren't familiar with and really can make an impact on what they think about Israel.
We interviewed some of the people who came to visit to get some of their thoughts on today's events. So what do you hope to take away from the event today?
Just more knowledge about what is really going on in Israel, and really just the impact. I mean, it says in Ephesians about the Gentiles and the Jewish people coming together, really just to do God's word and his work here in the United States. So I'm hoping that that will just be an impactful, magical event to take place today.
The rally ended with huge success, as Jews and Christians united in support for Israel. This is Bessie Picard for JLTV.